So carbohydrate metabolism. Some introduction. So, as you know, carbohydrates are composed of three elements, carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. From the perspective of getting the energy, the most critical are hydrogen and carbon, because these are the elements that can be reduced by the oxygen. But the oxygen can be supplied externally. So what are the sources of the carbohydrates? The sources is generally food. We have some simple sugars. So simple sugars are just the compounds that are shorter, so made of less of molecules generally, and some complex sugars that are created from more molecules. Generally speaking, complex sugars give more stability to our glucose levels in the bloodstream, and they are considered more healthy. Later, when the glucose would get with the food to our digestive system, it needs to be digested, so broken down to its constituents, and absorbed in the intestines. And then we have a step of metabolism. So the metabolism of the carbohydrates is controlled mainly, but of course not only, by the insulin and glucagon. Insulin generally is activated when the levels of the glucose are high, and the role of the insulin is to use this glucose. So it activates the transport of the glucose into the cell. Yes, the glucagon is activated when the levels of the glucose in the bloodstream are low. So its goal is to increase the flow of the glucose to the bloodstream. We also our organs can also generate some glucose by the gluconeogenesis from the amino acids and glycerol. It can also release the glucose from the glycogen. Glycogen is a complex sugar that is a storage of our glucose in the muscles and in the liver. And these are the main metabolic pathways. Of course, I'm just getting some big picture about it. And what we will use this glucose for? Obviously, to get the energy. This is the main function of the glucose, not the only one. It's also used in synthesis of some important compounds, but this is the most important thing that can be done with the glucose, just to burn it in order to obtain the energy. Okay, thank you.